Hey folks, Levi here once again. Hey y'all. I know I haven't been on YouTube for 3 weeks. Sorry guys, I just been busy, really busy with the work and stuff. And of course trying to get to the next movie that I'm going to review. I hope you enjoyed my review of Superman 3, still on my channel. Like, wow. 3 weeks is already on my popular uploads. I'm like, wow. I appreciate the views if people are watching. I know the audio sucks. I know the audio is terrible, but guys, just bear with me. But anyway, like I said, next I am going to review this film that stars Helen Slater as the main character. And of course, this is my second time watching this movie. I watched it to prepare for this review. And of course, my review today, I'm reviewing Supergirl, the movie, or just Supergirl, 1984, starring Helen Slater. Right there in the back. Now, I didn't grow up with this movie. I know a lot of people hate this movie or despise this film. I know some of my friends either hate this movie or I know one probably likes it. To be honest, I thought this movie was decent. I thought it was okay. Was some of the acting bad? Yes. This movie is very highly flawed. Yes, it has problems. You know, but what I'm intrigued about it is that it is the first female superhero movie. I mean, Wonder Woman, the TV show, that's the first female TV show. First female superhero TV show, but I consider this the first female superhero movie, you know, for its time. This was a spin-off, of course, of the Christopher Reeve Superman films. And you have Helen Slater, who stars as Supergirl, Cora, in the film, and she does a great job. And, yeah. But so far, I thought this film was just okay, in my opinion. It's an okay, decent film, in my opinion. I didn't mind it. I didn't hate the film. I didn't think it was terrible, you know. So this is not going to be a rant or anything, because I don't hate this movie. I didn't hate it. But I will say it has issues, but, yeah. But like I said, it's also the first female super movie I think ever made. And we would get films like, of course, Tank Girl, Catwoman, Elektra, we have Captain Marvel, we have Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984, which I still haven't seen. So we have some other female superhero movies out there. If I missed one, then I'm sorry. I would definitely say I would still watch this over Catwoman with starring Halle Berry, but that's just me. Never seen Elektra though. I mean, I've seen some of Elektra, and it just didn't look with Jennifer Garner, and it didn't look that interesting because that was a spin-off to the Daredevil movie. But anyway, Supergirl, decent movie. So let's get into the review, shall we? I'm sorry. It is the fourth installment in the film series set after the events of Superman 3 and serving as a spin-off of the series. But since how the movie came to be is that upon getting the film rights to Superman the movie in 1978, Alexander Salkind and his son Ilya Salkind also purchased the right to the character of Supergirl should any sequel or spin-off occur. After the commercial disappointing of Superman 3, the Salkinds opened to make Supergirl a movie to freshen the franchise. Make it more of a fairy tale, basically. So, of course, the Salkinds they had money and they had rights, and plus, even though Superman 3, even though I like the movie, it was I guess you could say, I call it critical failure, because the movie did fairly well at the box office, and Superman the movie, Superman 2, Superman 3, these movies made money at the box office, and of course they wanted to try something different to make a Supergirl movie. It was something different to an extent. I thought it was a very different area to explore. The producers attempted and failed to get the services of Richard Lester, who directed Superman 2 and Superman 3, and had completed the second film after the dismissal of the original director, Richard Donner. Robert Wise also turned down the director's chair. The French filmmaker Janet Squires, whose best-known work up to that time was mainly television and directing Jaws 2, which I like Jaws 2. I did review that film, by the way. Was ultimately chosen after a meeting with Christopher Reeve, who had completed, and he also directed Somewhere in Time, which also starred Christopher Reeve. Good movie. Squarch sought advice from Donner to overcome technical aspects of the production. Now, I don't know too much about that. Hundreds of actresses tested for the role of Supergirl Linda among the Demi Moore and Brooke shows. Sheila and Moore were both ultimately rejected by both Salkind and the director, who are both one of the unknown actors, and they instead signed Helen Slater Slater was paid $75,000 for the role. Dolly Parton down the role before Selena, before it was offered. Helen Slater, I think, came from, I believe this was also her first movie. Yeah, Supergirl, this was her first film. I think she said at the time she was doing like theater work, acting in theaters, and of course she got a call from the producers and they came in and tested her for the role of Supergirl. She had the red band hat on, which you can find on YouTube. The making of the movie is here on YouTube. That's how Supergirl looked in the comics. And she tested for the role, and she got the role, and she basically exercised. She did a lot of running and a lot of exercise in the gym. She got into good shape for the role. So, and because of Supergirl, she's got to start the only movie I've seen her is the only two movies I can think I've seen her in are The Secret of My Success and City Slickers. So, The Secret of My Success was with Michael J. Fox. Yeah. City Slickers was with Billy Crystal. Yeah. And Dan, I'm sure she did that movie with. Most of the film was shot at Hollywood Studios in London. Same with other Superman films were filmed as well. Production took place between the summer and fall of 1983. Although the film financed the film completely on their own budget, Warner Brothers was still involved in the production since the studio owned the distributed rights to the film, and its parent company was also the parent company of DC Comics, owner of all Superman and Superman family copyrights. The entire film was shot, edited, and overseen under the supervision of Warner Brothers. Warner only had a July 1984 slot open for Supergirl, but the producers insisted on opening it during the holiday season. That conflict, along with the disappointing critical and financial performance of Superman 3, sorry if I'm reading too fast, from one of the studios relinquished its distributed rights of Supergirl to the Solcons. The film proceeded to be released overseas, however, received a world film premiere in the United Kingdom in 1984. Christopher Reeve did reject being in this movie. From what I've heard, he rejected being in this film. From what I've heard, that he didn't want to play Superman anymore, which isn't true because, about 2 years later after this film, or 3 years later, whatever, he would go back to playing Superman 4 to return to Superman and Superman 4 to Quest for Peace. So, yeah, I guess he just didn't want to do the movie. I remember Helen Slater saying in an interview that her and Christopher Reeve were friends. So, and they look like an old picture of them together, taking a picture together or something like that. So I guess they knew each other. But it sucks that he wasn't in this film. Yeah. Derrick Metis, who does visual effects for movies, was a special effects designer. Yeah. He worked on some of the James Bond movies like Live and Let Die, The Man with the Golden Gun, The Spy Who Loved Me, and of course Superman the movie, and Superman 2, and For Your Eyes Only, and Moonraker, and Quell. In Superman 3, he also does the special effects for Supergirl. He did a good job. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And instead of Faye Dunaway got the role for the villainess in the film. Alright. The film is directed by Janet Squirts. Janet Source, I guess is, like I said, he directed Jaws 2 and Somewhere in Time. And I like those movies, So I'm not saying he ain't a good director. Produced by Timothy Bull. Screenplay by David Odell. It's based on Supergirl, created by Odin Benner and Al Pacini. The musical score is by Jerry Goldsmith. I think that's one of the highlights of the movie is Jerry Goldsmith's score, It's nothing like Superman though. Cinematography by Alan Home. It's edited by Malcolm Cook. It's distributed by TriStar Pictures. It was released July 19th, 1984 in the United Kingdom and November 21st, 1984 in the U.S. United States. The budget for the movie was $35 million, but at the box office it made $14.3 million worldwide, so it flopped, And audiences and stuff, fans and critics did not like this film. But I do like the music score, or 14 tracks for the movie, or I think 23 tracks, I'm sorry. And I know Supergirl, I've heard it has like 2 other cuts. I think this is the US cut that I have of it. There's the international cut, the director's cut, which add more scenes to the movie, but I'm okay. I don't really need to see those. Just, yeah. But anyway, they do have a book about the movie. The movie did get a comic book adaptation, so did Superman 3. Film did not get a good reception. I know Siskel and Ebert did not like the movie. I think they called it boring. The film was nominated for some Razzie Awards for Peter O'Toole and Voice Actor for Faye Dunaway. Helen Slater was nominated for Best Actress, which I think she deserved. She didn't get it, but she deserved it. In my opinion. Its DVD release was the independent home video company, Anchor Bay Entertainment, 2000. Warner Brothers acquired the rights to the film and reissued it on DVD late in 2006 and with the release of Superman Returns, which came out in 2006. Although it's canon with the Christopher Reeve and Brandon Rush Superman films, it's not included in the Superman DVD or Blu-ray box sets set by Warner Brothers. I do think it should be, in my opinion. And the cast is that Helen Slater plays Cora Zor-El, Linda Lee, Supergirl. Faye Dunaway plays Selena. I know Faye Dunaway's in many other movies. Yeah. I think she was in Dustin Jackson. She was in Bonnie and Clyde, 67 movie. Yeah. Yeah, Peter O'Toole as Slater, who sadly passed away back in 2013. And he's got many other movies as well. None that I don't think I've seen. Herb Buckner as Ethan. Herb Buckner, I think I remember him from Die Hard. Yeah, I think he was he was Ellis in Die Hard. And I think he also he voiced Arthur Reeves in Batman Mask of the Phantasm. So he did another superhero movie, but it was just animation. So Brenda Varco as Bianca, Peter Cook as Nigel. I think Peter, yeah, he passed away too back in 1995. Oh yeah, he was in Bedazzled, the original one, not the one with Brendan Fraser, but I remember him as the devil in that movie. Good actor. Simon Ward as Zor-El, Cora's father. Mark McClure as Jimmy Olsen. He's the only character from the Superman franchise from the Christopher Reeve films to do this movie. Maureen Tiffy Cafe as Lucy Lane. David Haley as Mr. Danvers. Sandra Dixon as Pretty Young Lady. Matt Fuller, Kelly Hunter, and Gloria Amon. Christopher Reeve said to have a cameo of Superman, but bowed out early on. Yeah. Demi Moore was also auditioned for the role, but bowed out to make the Blame It on Rio movie. So yeah, and like I said, Mark McClure was the only one, Jimmy Olsen, to star in this film. The only Superman character to star in this film. Now, with the character of Supergirl herself, I guess for those that don't know, Supergirl is Superman's cousin. Yeah. She was basically created for the female audience. Cora as well as the biological cousin of Kal-El, Superman, his Kryptonian name. Yeah. This was Supergirl's first appearance in the comics. Yeah. I know she died in the comics. I heard it was to get back at the movie or something like that. I don't know. And then, of course, you have the Supergirl TV show with Melissa Benoist, which I will talk about probably way down the line on my channel. I don't know when. Oh, yeah, I will be talking about it when I get to the Superman TV shows. The TV shows for the Superman. When I make it to there, I'm going to talk about the Supergirl TV series starring Melissa Benoist. So, yeah. But I like Supergirl. I thought she was cute and, a cool character. She has the same powers as Superman. So basically, the plot, even though the film is 2 hours and 30, that's not well. I've heard some of the cuts are a bit longer of the movie. So pretty much the plot of Supergirl the movie is that Cora of Argo City poses as Clark Kent's cousin, even though she is his cousin. She poses as Linda Lee to recover the Omega Hydron. That's what we'll call Omega Hydron, from an evil sorceress named Selena, who wants to use the Omega Hydron because she's into witchcraft. She's basically a witch, and she wants to use the power of the Omega Hydron to take over the world, to basically rule the world in her way. And of course, Supergirl, uncovers Linda Lee in a college, in a school, a school for girls. Sorry, can't even talk. I just haven't done YouTube in a while. Sorry, and of course, Supergirl has to defeat and stop her. Pretty much that's the plot of the movie in a nutshell for you. Alright. Yeah. Alright, we'll get to Supergirl the movie. I'll go ahead and talk about the plot, talk about the movie, we'll talk about the movie itself, and then give my final opinion on Supergirl the movie, so... And again, this is not a rant, so I don't hate this movie. But I'll get to my problems and what I liked about the movie, all that later on. But Supergirl, let's get to it. Oh, they guys can see me. Yeah, Supergirl, let's get to it. Really like the poster here for it. I think they did a good job with that. But Supergirl, the movie starts off with with the Jerry Grossman theme for Supergirl. If you've seen the movie, though, you know the theme and stuff by Jerry Grossman. I think it's brilliant. I think it's almost great. I think it's on par with the John Williams score for Superman the movie. So, and then Cantor scores as well for Superman 2 and 3. It's definitely on par with those, in my opinion. It's definitely on par with the Superman theme. I think Jerry Grossman did a good job. I like the opening of the movie. We don't get a try stars a little bit. Well, I didn't. Not on the DVD here, but instead of seeing that, it just goes right to the opening credits of the film. And then we meet Cora Zabel, played by Helen Slater, who Cora lives in the isolated community. She lives in a place called Argo City, which is a city where it's a Kryptonian city. After Krypton blew up, they live in this city built by Zeltar, and you just see Cora just saying hi to people, walking around, and Argo City looks really beautiful here. Basically, Cora goes to Zeltar, who is I guess you could say, the one who he created Argo City, or helped create it, or whatever he did. And of course, with that, the city government, he stole the Omega Drive, even though he's a part, the idiot stole it, but he's showing Cora, that he creates a tree. He's like, what's a tree? He's like, well, it's what the hell on Earth, He's like, well, Cora, I want to go to Earth one day, I want to explore it, I want to see how it is, just to go out. What about Saturn? I was like, Saturn's a bit far away, and, yeah. Also, I mentioned Helen Slater is very beautiful in this movie. She's still a beautiful woman, but in this movie, she's definitely gorgeous. And, all of her smile and stuff, Sorry. But, he's like, I want to go to Earth one day. I just want to go venture to Earth. And he's telling her about the spaceship. He goes like, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to zig. I'm going to zag. Well, he doesn't do that. He's just like, I'm going to zag. Okay, I think his acting is pretty much over the top of the layer. And I do call him an idiot because he steals the Omega Drive. Not borrow, stole it from the city government. And, he lets Cora mess with it. She's messing with it. He just lets her. He just, like, when he's talking to Cora's mother, Laura, and talking about him leaving Earth, he slips the Omega Hydron to Cora, and she messes with it. She creates a butterfly and lets the butterfly fly, which is very cool looking. And of course, it opens up a window there, and the power. Yeah. He breaches through a window. Cora nearly flies through. He's like, Cora, no. And the girl Cora's like, and his father, Cora's father, I forget his name so well, is like, you could have done that, you could have killed us all. Great. That is the Omega Hydrant is what keeps the city alive. And since he stole that and like an idiot did something stupid, it's like, it was my fault. Cora's like, no, it's my fault. I was messing with it. And, they're like, well, we can't go after it. There's nothing nobody can do. We can't leave this planet. So Cora decides to get into that spaceship. She goes and seeks into the spaceship. Sorry. It flies away, and they're like, Cora, no, Cora. And it's like, he's like, no, don't worry. Tells her parents not to worry. She'll be fine. She'll be okay. It'll protect her. But you should send me to the Phantom Zone, So he basically says, the Phantom Zone in Superman's, or in Supergirl's, in their world, basically, Krypton, the Phantom Zone is basically a prison, for Kryptonians, that have committed crimes and all that stuff. That's their prison, basically, the Phantom Zone. So they do send him to the Phantom Zone. Cora's off to the, Cora is looking around, she's in the spaceship flying in space. And I like some of the good effects. I think the effects are really beautiful here. Like the green and where she's going through the earth, through space. I mean, she's like, wow, and she's kind of scared first, but then intrigued. She has a bracelet, as you can see right there, right here, which the bracelet, which she takes it, is to, I think takes it from Zoltar, can tell her what the location of the Omega Drive. The Omega Drive, of course, lands on Earth, like she does. But of course you meet Madame Selena and Peter Cook. I think it's Peter Cook, right? Yeah. Nigel. And Selena says she wants to rule the world. She's just tired of being with him. I guess her boyfriend and girlfriend. She's tired of being with him. But when she gets there, she's like, oh, here we go. And she leaves him. And you have the little comedy scene. It's like, you can't leave me, my dear. I have the keys. But she's able to use the Omega Drive as a way to get the car started. And you hear that Superman is away on a peace treaty. Superman is not in this film, like I said, but him and even Lois Lane are referenced, But she drives off to go talk to her Bianca, her assistant, basically, which I call the female version of Otis. Talks about that we don't have to pay bills and we don't have to do anything. We can use this Omega Drive. I can use this. It's like, I guess, it's a crystal ball to her, I guess, and she can use it to take over the world. It helps her with her magic, with her black magic. Anyway, Supergirl, Cora lands on Earth, and she's in her Supergirl suit now. She just kind of flies a bit, then falls, and and then she picks up a rock, breaks it, and she starts to, it's makes forward, but she grabs a plant and uses her heat vision to heat it up, and she, smells it and flies. She's like, wee, she's just weeing around. I know that's a little weird. Sometimes we're saying wee, but I think it was an adorable scene. I think she was adorable flying around and stuff, but that's just me saying that. I thought she is adorable and beautiful for doing that, and she's just exploring. She doesn't know where Earth is, so she's basically exploring our planet, not knowing what it is, just having these powers. It's new to her. Again, when she was in Arbor City, she had no powers, but when she's on Earth, being under the solar system of the sun, like Superman, gives her powers. She's just flying around, just having fun. And we see her go flying, we see her just flying and exploring the Earth more by flying around the Earth. And some beautiful shots in here. I like this movie does make you believe a girl can fly. It made me believe because I think the effects are really good. Looks like really Helen Slater flying and stuff. And smiling and seeing horses and just flying around the city and eventually landing somewhere and knowing that she's going to have to find the Omega Drive. But eventually she decides to go undercover as Linda Lee. I think, before this, Supergirl does try to go search around for the, like I said, with the bracelet she's got, it's able to, the bracelet that she has on her arm there, her hand, she's able to track it down and flies into a restaurant, or not to a restaurant, but in the middle of this town, and these truckers show up. I think one of the truckers, he was, not Derrick Metis, no. He was the other dad in that movie. And from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the one that smoked. And, if you've seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. But anyway, I don't know about the actor right now, but anyway, they try to mess with Cora further, and she doesn't know how they're going to act with her, and they flirt with her, they try to put their hands on her, and she's like, stop. They're trying to flirt with her and touch her, and then, of course, that's what she's flirting with, because then she grabs his chin and crushes it with her strength, and she's like, why are you doing this? It's just how we are. And she uses a super to blow him away, the other guy tries to use a knife, she uses her heat vision, he's like, ah, and he tries to wrestle with her, but she, kicks him down, and then the guy's like, buddy, let's not tell anybody about this. He's like, okay, that was funny. And she goes back to the woods where she was before. She sleeps and sees a rabbit, which is a cute rabbit. She's like, hello. And then she sees these girls playing baseball, so she goes undercover, takes the name Linda Lee, and basically herself identifies as a cousin of Clark Kent. She's able to get to Mr. Danvers' office. When she's basically using her powers, using her super speed to, like Clark Kent wrote him. So she is able to go to the school. She goes in class, spends classes with them. She learns how these girls really are, and she eventually Selena shows up to the school. She sees Art Buckner, who his character really has no personality in this movie. He's there just to be a love interest, basically. I mean, at least we knew stuff about Lois Lane, but you don't know anything about this guy, that he just, like he says, in the movie, he just comes and cuts leaves and cuts trees and knows what he does and then go home, and I'm like, okay. So, and just be around for all the girls for him to check out, but Selena looks at him and her assistant, and they're like, wow, he's hot, so Selena not only wants to take over the world, but gets horny, just wants to have him over. Like, oh, I want him. She just wants him. Like, okay, she's just horny, I guess, for a young-looking guy, but okay. So she decides to use her abilities, her magic on him. Cora, though, there's some funny moments where she's able to see Selena in the car because the bracelet's going off, but she's not able to really do anything about it. She has to keep her cover up as Linda Lee. Peter Cook is the teacher, Nigel, who is, of course, the boyfriend of, Selena. Where are you going? So tell me the answer. Were you paying attention to the test? And she tells him, $65 million times, this. She tells him the answer. I think she's able to tell him, because she's really smart. I think she uses her x-ray vision somehow, but it's just my guess. And she meets Lucy Lane. We gotta mention when she met Lucy. Lucy Lane is Lois Lane's cousin, and you see a picture of Christopher. That's the only cameo you really get from this movie is a picture of him. She's like, "Well, he's Superman." It's like, "Yeah, he's a hunk." And him and my sister got something going on. Maybe if we become better friends, I'll audition him sometime. And she's like, "Wow," she's intrigued to see how her cousin's become a hero on Earth. And then you have them playing sports, like with a baseball or something, or whatever. I don't know what kind of sport it is, but these girls that are boys want to hit Lucy Lane, knock her down, hit her with the ball real hard, and she's able to use her Cora is able to use her super hearing, and she just kind of like grabs her, and the ball hits her, the baseball hits her, but it doesn't hurt her at all. It breaks as soon as it hits her, and they're like taking a shower, like Cora's like, wow, it doesn't take a shower, feels the heat of the wall. Like, wow, this is great. But she can hear that the bully girls are trying to mess with the water heater, trying to make the water real hot or cold, I forget. But then, she's able to use her X-ray vision and heat vision to stop them and chase them away. And then everyone laughs at them. Oh yeah, Ethan is her partner is the groundskeeper in the film. She invites Ethan over that she needs some plants, but she gives him a drink. She puts some magic spell in this drink, and is able to take control of him. Then he's like, oh yeah, this passes out. I forgot to mention earlier, when her and Peter Cook, her and Nigel argue at a party, this blonde woman who's got an annoying voice. This is kind of just a funny, stupid, I would say even cheesy moment where they go up with the Scorpion in there, she rolls her around. I thought that moment was just kind of stupid. Like, really? Yeah. Why not have the Scorpion attack her instead of her putting it in her mouth? I think that would have been done better. But I don't know, I thought that moment was silly. I'm like, it's like, we're over Selena. Peter Cook is a good actor. I mean, was a good actor when he was alive. He was a good actor, and I liked him in Big Desert. He was good in that movie. But in here, I think he's wasted. His acting was just bad at times. Just in my opinion, his acting was not very good. Neither was Faye Dunaway. I mean, just scenes with her and her assistant just kind of bored me, to be honest. They were just boring to me. Not very good villains. Sorry, I'm not being sexist or anything. There are good villainesses out there, in movies, but in here, just the writing for her and Faye Dunaway was just not good. Same thing with Pete O'Toole. Didn't like so thought in this movie, but what was I at? Yeah, she seduces. Well, even he makes him take the drink. Nigel comes knocking on the door, telling her what she's up to, and she basically with the magic creates this on his face like, Selena, you bitch. I thought that was funny. I thought it was funny. When he knocked on the door, when Selena says, better not be goddamn Jehovah's Witnesses again. I just thought that was funny. That's the dialogue. That's what she says. Not my mouth, but hers. But that's funny. Anyway, our partner Ethan gets up and runs in the middle of the town, and she's able to use her magic. She's like, power of magic, power of shadow, bring him to me. She's able to use a bulldozer. Bulldozer grabs Ethan. Linda, I forgot to mention, as Supergirl, is flying around the city a bit more using her bracelet, and it's still going off. She's trying to track the Omega drone down, but she comes later on, goes through like one of the construction holes or whatever, and we go back as Linda, and we meet Jimmy Olsen, and it's nice. It was nice to see Mama Girl in this movie. Jimmy Olsen's like, that's Clark Kent's cousin? Who's Clark Kent? Someone says, which I laugh. Because Clark Kent is not a popular guy, let's face it, he's no Bruce Wayne. But anyway, when Ethan's being chased and this bulldozer is about to kill him, and it creates some fires and knocks down an electric pole, Cora goes as Supergirl. She tries to fly to the bathroom, change the bathroom. Supergirl's like, I'm sorry, I just have to really go. I understand that. And, we see her fly. Supergirl standing over, and she's able to use her heat vision to stop the electric pole from going off. And, she's able to get the water taking care of the fire that's on the tires. They can do a lot of damage. Yeah. And Supergirl, of course, grabs part of the bulldozer tank side of it, which Ethan is in, grabs it and takes it, and comes back to Linda and says, you okay? And then he looks at her, and because the spell says it, he looks at the woman that he looks at, he'll fall in love with, and he looks at Linda, and of course he falls in love with her. He gives Cora a kiss. She's like, well, I don't know you very well. You don't know me. He's like, alright, well, I'm going away now. He said Cora liked kissing him. She likes this guy, and she doesn't know what kissing is. She tries to practice in the mirror. She's about to kiss the mirror, which is about to, okay, weird. Even though I do like her seeing her put her lips up. That's just me, though. What? I like women. I'm a man. Sue me. Yeah, I'm a man. I like women. Sue me. But, anyway, this pisses Selena off, and Selena's like, no one gets in my way. She says worry about Superman, but since she's got to worry about this Supergirl, she just tries to go find the power shadow of the demon. It's this demon that when she looks at the picture of, Nigel's cigarettes, she sees like this reflection of the demon, what it looks like. But she sends the power of the shadow demon to attack Supergirl. And Cora sees it and goes into Supergirl suit and says, leave this place and don't come back, but it attacks her, pushes her around, hits her around a bit. She can't physically see her push around, so she has to grab a pole and she has to get lightning on it to fight back with it. Some special effects here. And of course, you see the demon, and the demon she destroys the demon and just gets it to go away. Go. And I like it when she goes back in the room. I mean, in the school, and her Supergirl suit, and is like, take that costume off, girl, right now. Don't wear that. Don't you wear that. Take that off right now. Which was, I thought that scene was funny. Don't call me yes, ma'am. Don't call me ma'am. No, ma'am. And just walks back to her room. And of course, she still, this time was Linda Lee, is trying to use the bracelet to search, because the bracelet's still going off, because Selena is using the power of it, trying to use the power of it. And she does go to the theme park, but of course, Ethan, Loverboy, is right behind her. And it's like, I'm in love with you, I love you, and he gives her flowers and stuff. I thought it was funny. He shows it, what, sometimes when a man and woman get married, when the man picks the woman up in his arms, he tries to pick her up, but he can't do it. And she's like, what are you doing? And then they sit in the park where they talk, they share a kiss. He's like, Ethan, you're crazy, you barely even know me. And they share a kiss, and Selena's like, how romantic is this? How lovely. And she's able to, make the right go crazy with her abilities. And she only sees Ethan passed out, but then Supergirl, she comes to Supergirl and was like, Selena, stop what you're doing. He's like, no, Supergirl, I'm Selena, and you're trespassing. She's able to try to use her powers to, to keep her confused, or keep her kind of trapped. And she has our partner in the bumper rides, and this other ride that she lives in the theme park, or fair, whatever you want to call it. She traps Ethan in the bumper rides. He's trying to deal with the bumper rides. These bumpers are going crazy and almost killing him. He gets into one. Supergirl was able to fly out of Selena's trap and grabs these poles and does it really fast and knocks her in there. And she's able to grab her bumper core and pick it up with her strength and fly him out of there. And she flies him to this little beach place and says, we gotta go. And she's able to and he gets passed out by a rock. And he keeps saying, where's Linda? He's like, Linda is okay. Linda's okay, trust me. Hey, you can trust me. Linda's fine. And there's this romantic thing between them. They start flirting and they kiss. He's like, and he can tell that she is Linda Lee. That Supergirl is Linda Lee. And before they can kiss, though, she asks Nigel, her beer cook, to help her do this. And he does. And then she's able to use her magic to just push him into her bed, chain Ethan up, and Peter Cook, she just makes him really old, as his punishment. And of course she knows that Supergirl's coming, so Supergirl flies over. She's able to Selena creates this castle. Supergirl flies straight into the castle, opens up the window, and she's looking for Ethan. She's like, Ethan? She's trapped by chains, but then it's a trap. She can't get through it. And it's basically a mirror to the Phantom Zone. Eternal Void, basically the Phantom Zone. The Phantom Zone. The Phantom Zone, and it's like, Ethan, no, she kisses him, and it was like, enjoy your prison for eternity, Supergirl. And she goes into the mirror of the Phantom Zone, she's in the mirror of the Phantom Zone, the mirror, it takes her to the Phantom Zone, and the Phantom Zone I've never seen in a Superman movie, so the Phantom Zone, I will say, looks like a creepy place. It looks very scary, the place you want to, be in. But when Supergirl ends up there, she has no powers. There is no sun, no solar sun, no red sun, so pretty much when she's in the Phantom Zone, she has no powers. So nothing can happen for Superman. If he was in the Phantom Zone, he'd have no powers. I know this because in Smallville, I don't remember that, but Smallville, I think it was an episode, I think it was maybe season 6 or something, I don't remember, where Clark was trapped in the Phantom Zone, he had no powers either, so. But, of course, Supergirl has no powers. She tries to fly, but falls, and, where am I? She tries to pick up a rock and crush it, but can't do it, and her hand ends up bleeding. She ends up trapped, I think, in mud or something, and in this black mud, she ends up trapped in there until, of course, Slater sees her, and pretty much he's been in the Phantom Zone for a while, so I guess he's lost his mind. He's trying to make her drink a squirt, and it probably tastes like shit, I bet, but anyway. She's like, we've got to get out of here. And Selena starts taking over the earth, taking over the world, basically, with her castle, and is able to have these cops and stuff take people away. Lisa Lane tries to stand up to her, but they arrest her and Jimmy Olsen. And she was like, hey, you can't do this to me, I'm a reporter. But Cora is talking to Zolator and says, "We need to get out of here. We can't give up. If there's a way in, there must be a way out. There's always a way out." And he doesn't want to listen to it. He's like, "Well, okay, we can stay here forever, let Argo die, and let people on the Earth suffer by this witch who's going to take over the entire Earth. So yeah, we'll let suffer because of our mistakes." Squirt, she's about to do a squirt. She's like, "Okay," and they go to a place called the Zolator's in prison for, of course, selling the Mega Drive. Yeah. They go to a place called the Vortex, or the the Vortex of the Famcell, which is a way out, but it's dangerous. It's very rare, and it's like a tornado, and if you try to get out, it can kill you. But Zolator sacrificed his life to allow Cora for Supergirl to escape. Cora is scared at first, but eventually the vortex opens up, the whiteness of it opens up at the hole. She flies back and then gains her powers back, and she's like, "It's over, Selena." And Selena, of course, will put up a fight with Supergirl, and she's like, "But we're not for your friends," and she's gonna kill her friends to grab these, all these sharp knife objects to attack them. She's gonna use her freeze breath to stop it and get them out of there. Just tell them to run. And Selena fully uses her power for the power of the she's like, "Power of the shadow, destroy her!" And this big demon picks Supergirl. If you were a kid, you saw this movie, this probably scared you, but this demon tries to pick up, tries to crush Supergirl. Selena's able to use to crush Supergirl. Supergirl, listens to Zolator's voice, is able to get the strength to get out, and she turns herself into a little tornado and flies in and grabs her and her assistant and flying them over to the Phantom Zone, trapping Selena and her assistant in there, I guess, for eternity, I guess. But yeah. Yeah. And of course Ethan gives her the Omega Hydron. She tastes it, she's like, "Thank you," and she's like, "Supergirl, we didn't see you, we won't say nothing," that's what Jimmy tells her, and then Jimmy and Lucy Lane kiss. I'm like, okay, well, Jimmy would have had Lois's sister as his girlfriend, okay. But Supergirl tells Ethan goodbye, and Ethan's in love with her, but she has to go back to Cypress City, so she takes the Mega Drive, she flies back to Argo City, and of course it permanently lights up. The city lights up again, and pretty much she saved the city, and she also saved the world from the witch Selena. So yeah, that's Supergirl. And the end of the film is her going to find Argo City with a Mega Drive and basically saving her city. So, and then the end credits roll, and that's basically Supergirl the movie. So yeah. 43 minutes in? Okay. I'll give my final thoughts and opinions on this movie. So, what do I think of Supergirl? My final opinion? I think this movie's okay. I think it's a decent film in my opinion. I don't mind it. I just think it's an okay film. It's just meh. But there are some good things about it. But before I get to what I like about it, I'll say what I like about it first. First of all, I love Helen Slater as Cora, Zor-El, Supergirl, I love her as Supergirl. I think she's great. I know people say Melissa Benoist is better. Well, I like them both as Supergirl, And she is the original Supergirl, so I think she was great. In my opinion, she's probably the reason you should watch this movie and own it. What else do I like? I like the soundtrack by Jerry Goldsmith. I think, all of the theme for Supergirl is really good. And sometimes there's a lot of comedy, I think, that works. And the humor works for the movie. And some of the action is pretty decent. And I like Supergirl flying around. And the special effects, a lot of the effects are good. I would say, when she was the vortex where Zolator falls out, the Breath Tornado vortex or whatever, or the Famcell, some of that doesn't hold up. It doesn't look terrible, but it just doesn't hold up. And Supergirl being held up again, I just don't think that effect is very good. yeah, probably the weakest one, in my opinion. But the rest of the effects are really good. The rest of the action is decent. And, yeah. And some of it can be entertaining at times, you know. Yeah. I can be entertained by some of its humor sometimes, and some of the times the comedy works. And it's only 125 minutes long. Yeah. Or 104, but it feels like it's 2 hours, this movie, but, and, you know, it feels like it doesn't feel like it. At first I had an issue with the pacing when I first saw the movie. We were watching it, I thought the pacing was fine. Yeah, it took a while for the story to go sometimes, and sometimes the film does have some pacing issues, but it didn't bother me too much, and I can be entertained by it. Now my problems with the movie. Okay, well, first of all, I'll say with the story, I do like seeing Cora come to Earth. You know, I thought that was cool. Her having her Supergirl suit, already a Supergirl, and her flying around. I like that scene. I like a lot of that stuff, you know. She's very adorable to watch, you know, seeing her fly around the Earth and exploring the Earth and flying. That was cool to see that. So, you know. But the story of the film could have been better. I think the story is weak. Well, you know, I don't mind myself with Argo City, but I think the main problem with the movie is you really needed Christopher Reeve in this film. I'm not saying it should be his movie. I'm just saying you needed Christopher Reeve in this film. I think the film would have done a lot better at the box office. And if you would have been able to have Superman in the story, like, say that, you know, she does come from Argo City and Superman is helping her and they have to take down a villain or villainess or whatever, and Superman has to help train her to use her powers on Earth, and eventually she will have to stay on Argo. But like in the Supergirl TV show, I think it was done better with the origin story for Supergirl in that, because, you know, she comes to Earth, her party is knocked off course, and she lives in a family on Earth. I think that should have been in here. Have her maybe, you know, I think it's sort of better if Cora was a little girl and was going to also go to Earth. But if they were doing that here with her party getting out of course and some years later she ends up there and they to the origin story, it could have been so much better. But the whole story with the Argo City finding a May Drive, just really not the best story, pretty weak in my opinion. And I don't like Faye Dunaway as well, I'm sorry. She's a good actress, don't get me wrong, I liked her. It doesn't show sign she was good in that movie, but here in this movie she's just over the top, and you know, power of shadow, destroy her. You know, I just thought, and Bianca, and you know, I thought she was just really over the top and silly with her performance, and I didn't like her assistant, like I said, who was a female version of Otis. You know, yeah, she just kind of annoyed me. These characters annoyed me, and Peter Cook wasted here, and when he's in this movie, his performance I thought was just not very good in my opinion. It's just the writing. You know, the director I don't think did a bad job, but I think the writing should have been handled better. You know, I know they care about Supergirl. They do make it a fairy tale for Supergirl, but you just needed a better story. You know, to bring her in here for a spin-off film, you need to have Superman in there. It would have made more sense. You know, to have Superman involved in the story and in the film, you know, because for me, in order for Supergirl to exist, to be around, you have to have Superman. You know, Superman did come first. I'm not being sexist about saying that, or trying to sound it, because I like Supergirl. You know, she's a very lovely character. She can be a funny character, a good humor sense character. Yeah, and she's adorable. I always thought Supergirl was adorable. You know. And has other stuff that is adorable and beautiful in this film, and the reason to watch it. But Peter Cook and even Peter O'Toole, I don't like his performance. Just, you know, I'm gonna go that way. I'm gonna zag. You know, and I thought his character was an idiot. You know, for stealing the Omega Drive and causing all this crap. I'm like, wow. I don't like his character in the movie. Yeah, and the final scene I thought was Supergirl turning into a tornado and taking her and Supergirl out. I'm like, I don't like her. Butler, he's alright in the movie, but his character, I agree with some people, he has no personality. He's just there to be a lovesick puppy, you know, following her and stuff. So the only thing you know about him is that he's a groundskeeper and goes home, and that's it. And him trying to chase after, you know, Linda, Supergirl. Yeah, and being basically just being love interest, and in a way he's the damsel in distress in the movie. Yeah, or the man in distress, or whatever you want to call it, you know. He's just basically a love interest, and that's it. Nothing to his character, in my opinion. But some of the action is pretty decent here. Again, I think the film is okay at best, but I think it could have been a better movie. Some of it I will say is bad, but not all of it is bad. I would say I would still watch this over Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. I'd probably even watch this over Superman Returns, but that's just me. I probably like Man of Steel more than this, but that's just me. Because Man of Steel, I feel like, had a better story, but I'm not going to get into that. We'll get to those movies later, guys. But anyway, Supergirl, I don't mind the film. I don't think it's like one of the worst superhero films ever, but I will say it is a failed attempt. It is a letdown, in my opinion, but it could have been so much better. Christopher Reeve Superman should have been in this film. It would have been a better movie. But overall, Helen Slater, the music soundtrack, the soundtrack by Derrick Metis, some of the decent action, some of the beautiful effect shots are worth watching it for, And plus Helen Slater, she did a good performance. She deserved to win Best Award, All I'd say is screw the Academy Awards. I don't care about the Oscars. I say screw the Oscars. She did a great job of Supergirl, in my opinion. I don't care what nobody says. I'm sorry. I like Melissa Benoist, but she was first. Helen Slater was first. And Helen Slater, she's been in other Superman. She's been in Superman shows. Well, she was in Smallville, and of course she is the mother of Cora Danvers in the Supergirl TV series. So yeah, and she's great in that. It's good to see that she gets some respect, because this was her first movie, and this proves that she is a great actress and she can act. Yeah, and she's very beautiful. I always thought she was a beautiful woman, still is. She's older but beautiful. But Supergirl, I can have some fun with it at times. But in my opinion, it's a decent movie. It's an okay film at best. My rating for Supergirl, I'm going to give it a so-so. And my rating for this film is 3 out of 5 stars. 3 out of 5 stars. There was some good in this film that can redeem it a bit, but just doesn't make it better in my opinion. But Supergirl, decent, okay. Just an okay film in my opinion. Okay movie at best. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed my review of Supergirl. Tell me what you think of this movie. If you hate this film, that's fine. I know some people do. And if you think it's one of the worst superhero films, that's your opinion. To reach his own on that one. But if you hate this movie, I understand why. Like I said, I do think it's a failed attempt. I do think this film was a letdown, but I just don't think it's one of the worst superhero movies I've ever seen. In my opinion. I've seen worse. Again, Catwoman, Halle Berry. I'd rather watch this over Catwoman, but that's just me. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of Supergirl? Don't attack me for my opinion either. Don't do that. But guys, tell me in the comments down below, what do you think of Supergirl, the movie, 1984, with Helen Slater? Do you like it or do you hate it? If you hate it, it's okay. So tell me your opinion, guys. Let me know in the comments down below. And for my next review, basically for my next Christopher Reeve Superman film I'm going to review, it'll be the last one, sadly. And yeah, next, well, this will be a rant, just to let some people know that watch my videos. They might not let me ranting sometimes, but AV movies gotta get ranted. There are terrible movies out there that I do hate, and this is one of them. So next, I will be reviewing and ranting on Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Yeah. This will definitely be a rant coming up, so, yeah. Just to let y'all know that, because I don't like this movie. But I'll give my opinion on Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, which will be the last Christopher Reeve Superman film. Yeah. So, then we'll get to Superman Returns and Man of Steel afterwards. But Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, this will be next. So look forward to my rant on Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. And guys, tell me in the comments down below. And I hope you enjoyed my review of Supergirl. What did you think of this movie, guys? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And look forward to my review for the next one, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Which might be next week. Since today's Friday, I gotta work the whole weekend, guys. So next week I'll probably be reviewing Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Ranting on it. But Supergirl, let me know, guys, what do you think of the movie in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, y'all. Bye-bye.